Bro, I see crazy Lions fans talking crazy, like, "Oh, why would we do this?" Like, bro, do you guys like have no trust in Dan?
Mm,
Like in the Lions, like you think they would just
mm.
hire a random dude? Like, be for real. Like, you think they don't know what they're doing? They don't do their research. They don't interview. Like, most of you guys don't know really much about anything, about any ball.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and you're tweeting about a coach that was hired that you guys don't like because of XYZ. Like, it's just funny to me to see. Don't get me wrong, I love all Lions fans, but they are so quick to make, judgments about who we hired, who we did this. Like, bro, just relax, calm down. Like, let the whole thing play out. Like, you guys just let it play out. Just relax. That's all I gotta say, bro.
All right, Amon-Ra St.Brown goes off on the fans for not trusting Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. And like I said, he said that, well, like he said, most people don't know ball. And the thing about it is, I think natural reactions are natural reactions. I've had a few of those things, and then when you calm down and get more research, I think you start to be more logical. And uh, this time I researched, and shout out, like I said, once again to my son Juan Buchanan, pointing me in the right direction. Wolver Sports started to put some stuff out there. And you're right. A lot of people had knee-jerk reactions without researching. And one of the things about researching, is researching certain things, is the fact that we have the knowledge in our hand. When I was growing up, we had to get the encyclopedia to have certain knowledge. So we have this in our hand to be able to research, what we need to know. And that's crazy, man. We have the answers in our hand and we're so lazy to go get the information. We so lazy to know the definition of a word. We so lazy. We're just very lazy, a lot of us. And it's easy. It's easy to look up what he's done. And the conventional thought, before I kind of dig into what he said, the conventional thought is, well, he didn't win in Arizona. Let me say this, man, for people who don't know sports. Chuck Daly wasn't successful in Cleveland. Chuck Daly wasn't successful. He wasn't. Trader Jack Mikowski, said that, he was a good coach. He just didn't have the players around him in Cleveland. And they brought Chuck Daly here, and he was exactly what he needed. They could have went to go get, I don't know, Pat Riley, and maybe they wouldn't have won. I'm just hypothetical, right? So at the end of the day, it's called a diamond in the rough. Sometimes you got bad coaches and you got great coaches in bad spots. And sometimes you got bad coaches in great spots. And really the system around them allows them to look better than what they are. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You think they didn't check his references? They didn't call random players and, hey, what you think about Drew Petzing? You think they ain't called the tile guys? You think they ain't called players? You think they ain't called positional coaches? And also, he was cool with Hank, what's his name, Fairley, or the dude that's the offensive line coach? No disrespect. You think they ain't called, back to Boston College? They probably talked to his high school coach, especially after the Lions hired Matt Patricia, and he had he tried to take a woman's cookies and they didn't know nothing about it, and they got swept under the rug, and it came back up because somebody didn't like the hire. Somebody got mad at Detroit. Let's call it for what it is, man. How you gonna get mad because it wasn't the name you want? You know who else passed up on Mike McDaniels? Tampa, Philadelphia. And it ain't even just saying, hey, man, let's give this guy a chance. Hold on. It ain't even, hey, let's trust Brad and Dan. Let's stop it before we get to that point. How about you pick your phone up and do some research? Do some research. Don't let the internet research for you. Find these facts. Arizona had a great rushing attack. Didn't have a great offensive line. He did what he could with Kyler Murray. That means he had to alter his offense to do more shotgun runs and more things that make Kyler Murray more comfortable. What does that show? That's the ability to be fluid and flexible with your offense. That already showed he's flexible right there, that he can build an offense around Kyler Murray. If they need to run from shotgun to accommodate Kyler Murray, or they need to, pass out of shotgun to accommodate Kyler Murray when they got Jacoby Brissett, guess what? He said we can go under center, we can go shotgun, we can hand it off, we can throw it around. And I heard somebody say, well, it worries me about the passing attack that he got. Yeah, that's the problem with John Morton. All John Morton talked about was passing. Explosive plays, passing. That's what got them in trouble. When Jared Goff is on due to the running game. And a lot of quarterbacks are better because they can run the football. Well, it concerns me. I think it concerns me. What does it concern you about? Well, he had Marvin Harrison Jr. probably would have had double the stats if he didn't drop the football so much. I like Dortch. I like Trey McBride, some of the other guys they got, but to keep it a bean with you, Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't lived up to the bill yet. That ain't his fault. There's been plenty of plays where the ball was took from him, he got picked, or he dropped a critical pass, or it run off his hands. That's something that him and his father got to figure out. That ain't nothing. They ain't got nothing to do with Drew Pesky. I seen Drew Pesky throw up plenty of great plays for him. So my thing is this, it wasn't Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels wasn't tough enough, bro. He wasn't stern enough. I don't get why y'all don't understand that. John Morton was the same thing, a pass-happy dude who wasn't tough and stern enough. You got a guy that got experience calling plays. B, you got a guy who's been successful and didn't have all the tools to be successful as a play caller. He didn't have everything. They didn't have a great offensive line. They didn't have a great group of receivers. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have great running backs. Just keeping it real. The quarterback, it was a lot of controversy around him. You feel what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like when you see quarterbacks, who didn't really have much in college, but they made it happen. They get to the league and it's just, But Amon-Ra is right. He should, talk to the fans like that. Like, damn, everything Brad did and Dan did here, and we don't trust him. Well, he drafted this, but he had a bad draft. So what? The Lions had bad drafts for a while. He had a bunch of good ones too. So, at the end of the day, I agree with him. Trust him. It wasn't this much flack about John Morton. That's the crazy thing about it. If you go back and listen to my videos about John Morton before they took us, before the 2025 season started, listen to what I said about John Morton. Listen to what I said about John. I said, man, he just seemed a little bit too enamored with explosive plays, and he just seemed pass happy. He won't keep the same running game, and at the essence, the Lions need a ground and pound. When you start talking about, airing the ball out, they can do that. With Dan Campbell, they got a playbook to air the ball out. They aired it out in Arizona. Especially when Jacoby Brissett got in there. But I agree with Amon-Ra St.Brown, man. The fans lazy. Oh, it ain't the name that we want. But you got to understand, these people, they buy products based off the name, not based off the quality. So everything they buy when it come to cars, when it come to clothes, it's not that these $1,000 jeans is different than the $20 jeans. It ain't no different. They made in the same factory. Didn't they show people that when it came to the Gucci bags and all of that? They were saying, hey, man, all the Gucci bags is made in the same factory as the Fucci bags. Man, hey, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit the link tree, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love of support. Peace.